What's up? What's up, everybody? It's damn good after dark. It's damn good after dark. How is everyone doing today, this evening? Vincent, welcome in. Butchie, what's up? How y'all doing today? Let's see. There's old Curtis. Where's old Capsy Wisdom here? There's those. Butchie, what you doing, buddy? There we go. Let's get old Dustin up in here.
Boom.
I was just trying to hum a little theme song for us. It's like, it's damn good after dark.
And I was the first to like it. I'm liking
Yeah.
liking it a little bit right now.
Like it, like it. Hit that like button, people. That's what we like to see. Get it?
Vibrational liking.
I'm telling you. Look at that. You are setting it up, my friend.
Ooh,
Now we're just waiting for Mr. Right out to get in here. I sent the link.
Yeah.
So get him ready to rock and roll. What kind of frosty beverage are we having this evening?
Some grape juice, some fermented grape juice.
Ooh. Is it aged?
It is quite nice. It's a Popic Crush soft red blend.
Okay. There's old Miss Tanya. Tanya's in here. How you doing, Miss Tanya? I haven't seen Mr. Rideout enter the chat yet, so.
I was just talking about Tanya with Ruth earlier today, actually from Scam Haters. We talked for almost 2 hours.
Yeah.
Yep, they're sliding into the bowling alley already. They hit up one of my friends who knows who I am, who doesn't take any grief.
Yeah.
Let us know real quick.
You're such a popular guy. You know that?
Me?
Yeah. You are the Zohan. The Zohan.
He's Zohan.
And with Tanya in here, hi.
Taste of defeat. Taste of defeat.
Taste defeat. What's up, Austin? Thanks for the heart, me, my friend. Appreciate you. I have no idea where Mr. Rideout's at. He said, I'm here. I'm ready to go. So, there he is. Let's get him. And I say, welcome to the show.
But Curtis's face is going to make me feel better about my own life. Let's see.
There we go.
Let's see.
Austin, you're the man. Hey, Miss Swan, welcome in. And there is Mr. Rideout. All right, Austin just helped me hit the goal, and Miss Swan just hit me a heart move. Welcome. Welcome, Mr. Rideout. You are late, sir, as Tanya says.
I'm not late or on time. I arrived for precisely when I mean to.
Because you, my friend, are a wizard.
Yes.
Yep.
Pinball wizard.
You got me on the latest TV show. What was that one? The Rings of Power. I blame that on you, but it was worth a watch, I guess. It was.
Wasn't for me.
Huh?
It wasn't for me. I absolutely hate that show.
Yeah, but you're the one that was telling me about it, so I think you're the reason I watched it, because we were talking about it one day and you had said something, so I was like, all right, I'll watch it.
You know what I did here, y'all? Like before we got on here on the live, I think it was like actually going to let me like do a poll or something, you know? I was like trying to do a quick poll. What I was going to do is a lot of people haven't noticed, but your boy here has shaved his beard off, and I've had maybe 9 people notice. Curtis didn't even notice when I walked in last Friday until Wes said something.
Hey, Tanya, no, ever since TikTok went away and came back, recharging your coin stuff has not worked.
I've been able to charge mine okay.
I can't charge mine.
Well, that's weird.
Like when I pull it up.
The thing too is a lot of people are not able to resubscribe for the monthly stuff. That's why it's like it's showing 29 people.
I think I'm due to resubscribe soon. I don't know how to do any of the coin stuff, but I'm pretty sure I need to resubscribe soon.
Yeah.
Right now, I just pulled it up and it says we're working to restore our service in the U.S. as soon as possible. We appreciate your support. Please stay tuned. Recharging on the app is unavailable.
That is just silly. So, well, guys and gals, I want to welcome y'all into Damn Good After Dark episode 2. I'm fixing to pass it off to my boy Dustin and then our good buddy Curtis, who is also live and in color. And no, that's not a racial joke either.
It wasn't until you said it wasn't.
I don't care what anybody says. It wasn't a racial joke. I meant everything I said. So
I know that, but just my reflexes at this point in my life, I had so many already just stacking up. I was like, oh, man.
I got one of them. Well, Dustin, we're going to pass it over to you. So before we do, though, I just want to let everybody know that if you're watching, listen, if you have any questions and they're bowling related, I may or may not be able to get to them tonight because this is Damn Good After Dark. And I appreciate you guys joining. And as you can see right here, this dude right here, The Beard, who is in his business casual, as I call it, Mr. Caps. And, well, the guy that disappeared.
He's a part-time magician, folks.
Part-time magician, that's right. Part-time magician. And just went back and poof, there's his hat. The one and only Curtis Rideout. And Curtis, Tanya is wanting to know, how do you pronounce your username to everybody?
Keelandy.
Keelandy. So anyway, I'm going to pass it up to my big man, Mr. Caps Wisdom, a.k.a. The Beard, a.k.a. The Suit. Dustin, take it away, my friend.
Thank you very much, Mikkel. And actually pretty good lead-in, too, because I was thinking about the intro for it as well. So I'm glad that you kind of said about the bowling thing. I may or may not. Yeah, so y'all that are watching, isn't this our third After Dark?
Well, we had a pilot, and this is now like the official second episode now.
I thought we did either way. After Dark, we created to basically talk everything outside of bowling. Because we've become pretty good friends over the past year plus. So while we're filming these things and hanging out and doing whatever, we have a lot of good conversations in things like that and whatever's going on and we talk about. So this whole idea for After Dark was created like, well, let's have a segment or something specifically for all of this other stuff outside of bowling. So that's not to say that we won't ever talk about bowling and talk about what's going on with DGAB or this or that. But yeah, like Mike said, this is basically created to us come together, everyone else, and just talk about things. So that's what we're here to do. We have a lot of things to go over tonight that we haven't gotten to, and we will be wrapping up right at 12:30 tonight. So let's start right off, guys. I figured we would kind of front load, since we hadn't gotten to it before, the sports stuff, or the segment that we're calling Wide World of Sports. Mm-hmm. When we first came up with the show, for everybody out there, that was one of the first things that Mike wanted to talk about. And would have been great timing, we just didn't get to it. So we're going to do that tonight, and I'm actually interested. So Mike, do us a favor and give us a breakdown. Assume somebody doesn't know what the NIL is in college football.
That's me.
Okay, perfect. Because I kind of know what it is. Like, I know just enough to be a smartass with it. You know what I mean? But it comes up a lot. So I'm interested to know what exactly it is and then we'll go from there.
So, as Dustin said, NIL stands for name, image, and likeness. And it's basically what they gave some college football players the right to do, which is be able to promote, well, as they say, name, image, and likeness, you know. One of the things, and again, I'm not completely like 100% in, so if anybody out here is watching wants to throw some tidbits in to help us out, that would be great. I can only tell you based on the stuff I've read and what I know, and a lot of stuff has definitely changed since the start of the football season, and I know we're getting towards the end of the football season, but name, image, and likeness was one of those big things going on this year in the college football world. A lot of people have talked about how it is really great for college football, and a bunch of people have talked about how it is absolutely terrible for college football, and we're here for it. Me personally, I don't have a problem with it. I believe collegiate athletes should be able to, within reason, be paid for their talents, because Lord knows that the universities are getting a buku of money. And the thing about it is now is they're now showing. I just read a recent article of amounts that the universities are worth. And the thing about it is like Alabama's worth like 9 million, and they're not even in the top 10. And it's like, oh my God, Alabama, right? The biggest one was Ohio State is worth over $9 billion, which is why they got a lot of. I'm not going to say they got a lot of hate, but they kind of got picked at because they were talking about in the early season, hey, you got a $22 million football team, you should be able to win a national championship, which they did. So it really comes down to the debate here is if they do get paid, should there be a limit on what they get paid? And the basically it comes down to their college athletic scholarship. It's just it blurs the lines between what is what is a contract versus a scholarship versus how much should they get paid. There's just a lot of gray lines and a lot of blurred lines, if you will.
So if let's go back to how before it was, right? Going in and like if I or you or me, whoever, I was a college student going in as a freshman, I got a football scholarship going to wherever, Bama or Oregon, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
What makes it different? What I guess was I not allowed to do before? Meaning, because we're used to kids going to the college and staying there all 4 years or whatever. They stay there, they're in that program. That's how college football was, right? Because that's just how. Occasionally, you'd have kids change schools completely, but that was a bigger deal if they chose to do it. So now with this NIL in here, what are my options as a freshman going in? Because another big, huge buzzword with it is the transfer portal, right? So what does that allow them to do now that they couldn't before? And how could that impact the game?
Before you answer that, can you let Maya know one more time what NIL is?
Yeah, Maya NIL is name, image, likeness. That's kind of the big deal going on in the college football world before the start of the season this year. So I'll give you the history behind what they couldn't do before. So what they could transfer, they could go into a transfer portal, okay, but they could not transfer within the conference they were playing. So if you were transferring out of Alabama, you couldn't go to a Georgia, you couldn't go to a Florida, but you could go to a school that was in the Big 12, the now defunct Pac-12, the Big 10. That got erased when NIL became a thing. Now they were like, okay, cool, you can transfer. You can transfer within conference. So somebody playing for Alabama one year could transfer and go to Auburn the next year. So yeah, if you make a bowl game, you play the bowl game. Yeah, see, that's another thing. Ty is bringing up a good point here too. Is now these athletes are getting paid, like and again, it's just as I said earlier, Dustin. It's the blurred line. Like, is it a semi-pro contract? Is it a semi-scholarship, collegiate athletic scholarship? What there's a lot of stuff that's like blurred in the middle that just has become, I guess, controversial, if you will. And the biggest word that came through the season now, the word of the season for college football is now been known as tampering. Now there's a rule where you can't so if you're playing in the middle of the season, like you, Dustin, are playing for Oregon, okay? No other coach can come to you during the season and look at you and go, hey, we know you're not starting at Oregon. We know you're a 4-star prospect. We know you're really good. Hey, why don't you come over here and play for Oregon State? We can give you this amount of money. Thus, that's called tampering. That is not allowed. And there's again, my problem with the whole, again, I don't have a problem with them getting paid, because the fact of the matter remains is anybody that has turned a blind eye before any of this became a thing, the guys and gals are getting paid. And the proof in that is I'll use Reggie Bush. They took his Heisman from him after they found out he was obtaining impermissible benefits from USC, meaning they were giving him cars, they were giving his family a house and stuff like that. Here is to me, the hypocritical way of thinking right now. So NIL is now a thing. They can get paid. They gave him his Heisman back. So it's like, why did you take it away in the first place? There was no reason to do it. So to me, that shows kind of the.
Well, I would say, they took it away because as the rules were at the time, he was technically breaking the rules. And then when they reformed the rules, it's like, well, I mean, I guess we're gonna retroactively go back because
If
he lost an arm.
anybody in the world thinks that nobody was getting paid under the table, they're damn fools.
Well, of course, but
Maya mentioned, it's funny.
Game, but not get caught. That's we all know. Don't get caught.
Okay, again, don't get caught, whatever. The principle of the fact is, it's like they were doing it like they are now. It's just legal depending on verbiage and words and everything. I mean, that's basically what it is. So, but now it's like, for instance, Caleb Downs started as a freshman as a safety at Alabama in Nick Saban's final year. Once Saban announced his retirement, as soon as Saban announced his retirement from Alabama, they immediately lost 33 players to the transfer portal. And Caleb Downs was one of them. Caleb Downs was really highly recruited out of high school. And he ended up going to Ohio State, which, again, they won a national title this year because of the expanded playoff. So the only thing I will say about all this is, what is the common denominator in all this? It's money.
And I wasn't ignoring this because it's funny, Maya. I almost used that movie Blue Chips in my opening because I do remember that one. I actually saw that in the movie theater. Loved Nick Nolte. Always loved Nick Nolte. And that was back when Shaquille O'Neal, man, was it Anthony Hardaway was in that also?
Yeah, it was Penny Hardaway. Yep.
I do absolutely remember that movie. And I think you're correct. It has been happening, whether we like it or not, or whether you're getting caught or not, But the fact is that now it is legal. You know what I mean? What you did yesterday, no. Today it's legal. That's where we're at. So now, does that change college football as we knew it? And then if it does, are those changes for the better, for the worse?
I believe it does. If you're asking me my opinion, I believe it does. Because look at the expanded playoff, okay? Now, this is not me being an Alabama fan saying Alabama should have been in. I was one of the detractors from that. I was like, please don't put us in because we suck. We're terrible.
You were very honest about the state of Alabama.
I am honest with that. I am not one of these stupid ass fans that thinks that they're going to beat everybody 56-0. It's just not the way of the world. Now, I will tell you this though. One of the news journalists, made a comment about after Saban retired that the conference of the SEC collectively just imploded within itself, because they looked at it based on, hey, maybe one program did up the rest of the conference, if you think about it, because collectively this year the SEC was down. I mean, the way Notre Dame ran roughshod over Georgia, I mean, think about how that sounds. Do you think you would have heard that 3 or 4 years ago, Georgia getting ran roughshod over Notre Dame? No, you absolutely would not have. So there you go. I mean, again, I'm all for it. I mean, again, I think it gives college football parity, which is what they've been wanting forever. They've gotten, when they went to the 14 playoff, your main blue bloods. I mean, think about your blue bloods, okay? Alabama has been to the college football playoff more than any team since its inception 10 years ago. And then you've got Clemson, Ohio State, Oregon, Ohio State, Michigan, which Michigan I think has been twice because they lost to TCU a couple years ago, and which was a great semifinal, and then they just got routed by Georgia 65-7. That game, I remember that game at League. We were watching that, and I was like, that game was over after the first quarter. Like, TCU didn't have a prayer. So,
It's
again, what goes out, that it's just the gray area, Dustin. It's the gray area. It's the murky water type.
I totally agree with all of it. You know what I mean? You just know more about it. So it's funny. One of the things in there you said triggered one of my thoughts I had on it, because I talk about this a lot with Branson, and it's almost better for the storylines. It's not the football anymore. We're all wrestling nerds and we talk about a lot of wrestling. So it's almost like, what are the angles? What's the storylines going on? Like who's beefing or what happened where is almost more interesting now than the football game. To me.
I was trying to pin this. Maya, you'll like this, Dustin. Maya says, my boss's brother is the defensive coach for Oregon.
Nice.
Okay.
Oregon's a nice stadium. I got to play on the old turf, which sucked, but it's a really cool stadium, and Eugene shuts down on game days, man. Like, I know that I'm not trying to offend any Alabama fans, out there because I know that like Roll Tide is not a joke. We're on ground zero of it, and they do not mess around, take nothing away from you guys. You know what I mean? But Oregon, if anybody's close to rivaling it, it's the Ducks because the whole entire town shuts down on huge football games. I used to host a comedy show back there, and if there was a football season was rough, it was either rough or it was great. I'd host a show on Saturday night. So if the Ducks lost that day, I was gonna have like 15 people in the audience. It was gonna be a dead night. But if they won, it was packed and it was a party, dude.
To your example too, when the kick six happened in 2013, yeah, when I went out, yeah, there weren't a lot of Alabama fans out and about. That's for damn sure.
Yeah.
So,
did you have something else on it, Curtis?
yeah, that's why I was pointing at.
I'm just listening.
Okay.
I'm learning from this.
He's learning.
I'm just glad the kids are getting paid.
Yeah, but to me, unfortunately, I'm a bigger fan of the NFL, just personally for me, bigger fan of the NFL than college. But at least college before all of this, you kind of knew what you were getting. You were going to get one of the legacy teams, of Bama or Georgia or somebody like that, that you know is going to beat the piss out of everybody for 95% of the season, you know, and one of them were going to win. And that was college football. Now with all of this, from what I saw this season, to me, it looks like a miniature version of the NFL.
That's exactly what it is. I don't have a problem with it. Just call it semi-pro. Call it semi-pro and go on. I mean, my thing is, it's like, you know, education. You know, think about it now in this world of NIL. You think a elite college football coach like your Ryan Days, you know, and everybody else are going to go to some recruit's house and go, hey, we want you to come to Ohio State. We're going to get a quality education. That's not a sales pitch anymore.
Yeah.
Was that the sales pitch before?
No, the sales pitch before was prestige and everything. And another thing that had to do with it was like, which coach were you going to play under? I mean, think about it. I mean, like I said, the reason that Caleb Downs chose Alabama over Ohio State was he got 1 year under getting coached by Nick Saban. I'm just saying, like, you got to look, it's like back then it was like prestige. And again, back in the day, now, I mean, they're still considered blue bloods because of the total wins that they've won overall and stuff like that. They vacant all this other stuff. But, you know, there's a category called blue bloods of college football. And again, Alabama, Ohio State, Michigan, Clemson, USC even. Because USC was doing the things they were doing back in the mid-2000s. I remember the national championship when it was USC. Oh, and I can't forget Texas either. Texas is a blue blood as well. Oklahoma's a blue blood. But USC was getting the same amount of hate in the mid-2000s that Alabama was getting when Saban became coach and they started winning and everything. Nobody likes a winner. Nobody likes a winner at all. Look at this stuff going on right now. I've never seen and again, I'm the one I'm on the bus with it. Like, I do not want Kansas City winning a third Super Bowl in a row. Period.
I figured that was such a perfect lead-in for our next transition. That's our second topic. Well done, Michael. You're a great student
of the game.
Yeah, no, for real, man. Because that's what we're talking about next. Is everybody's take on the Chiefs? Because even if you don't watch football anymore, you can't not know who the Chiefs and Swift Nation, all that stuff is. And so there's a lot of hate out there for that. There's a lot of controversy on if it's legitimate. There's not a lot other than those two things, actually. So,
I mean,
what's the root cause of all the controversy?
Basically, the Kansas City Chiefs are what the New England Patriots were after they won in 2001, and Tom Brady became a household figure in the NFL. Basically, the controversy is Mahomes is getting the calls that Brady was getting back when the Patriots were their dynasty and everything.
Break it down. Talk to me like I'm stupid. I don't know.
So basically, let me try to translate real quick for you, Curtis.
Do it.
So I've been watching as much as I can this season, finally getting to follow again, you know. Basically, in a nutshell, there's a ton of people saying that this shit's rigged totally towards the Chiefs, and all of these calls, Patrick Mahomes is getting all of the calls that nobody else is, and that the refs are intentionally helping the Chiefs get their way to the Super Bowl.
Oh,
that's the
what
narrative.
getting the calls means. Okay.
That's the narrative.
And there has been actual evidence of certain plays and certain critical time of the game and downs and possessions and stuff like that. That again, here's another thing for you. Somebody was like, "Yeah, we're going to get to see the Buffalo Bills and the Kansas City Chiefs in this rivalry." It ain't much of a rivalry when Patrick Mahomes is 4-0 against Josh Allen or 5-0 against Josh Allen in postseason games. That's not a rivalry. I mean, hell, even Brady and Manning had a better rivalry than these two right now. Like, I feel bad for Buffalo. Like, I would totally have tuned in to the Super Bowl, like eyes glued to the TV, if it had been Detroit and Buffalo, because neither one of those teams have won a world champ or a Super Bowl title. Excuse me.
And they're both awesome stories behind them. They're very easy to get behind right now in the way that they're winning. The Lions with Dan Campbell and his crew. Like, I love them because of Dan Campbell, just a stud, epitome of a man to me type of thing. Plus my old buddy back in the day, Cumulus. I always love it when my friends that always love when they're dedicated to their teams when they suck. You know what I mean? And they take all that ridicule. So I love it when one of their teams goes up. So I got a Lions fan from way back in the days, my buddy. So that's why a lot of people like to see them win. With the Bills, like Mike said, they've gotten beat 4 times. And Josh Allen, that narrative is like he's really been playing like a Superman to where he's just as good, if not better than Patrick Mahomes, and just falls short every single time. It's not like they're rolling them. It's like 2 gladiators facing off, you know what I mean? To where he's doing just as much, yet he can never get a win.
Yeah. Mahomes is Allen's kryptonite right now. That's pretty much what it is. Now, they beat the stew out of them in the season, but they're talking about postseason, like playoffs and everything.
Yeah, and then there's the other stuff like the Denver game. I think you could probably help me on this one, Mike, where people are saying that they lost that bat on purpose to get Denver out already or something like that.
To get Denver in.
Get Denver in.
Yeah, because they were trying to keep Cincinnati out. That was the whole hoopla around that. But here's the thing though. Another side of it is Kansas City already had the 1 seed locked up. They already had home field advantage, the 1 week bye. They already had that locked up. They only had 1 loss, so a loss at that week was inconsequential. So they basically didn't play their starters.
And what was the score of that game?
Dude, Denver beat them like 38-0. Again, I'm just saying, like, and not only that, y'all, I'm over Taylor Swift. I don't give 2 shits about Taylor Swift. I don't. I don't, and I'm not apologizing for it either. I do not like Taylor Swift. I don't give 2 shits about her and Travis freaking Kelce. I don't care. I don't need to see her on the damn TV 20 freaking times a game. I'm there to watch football. I ain't there to see the fucking meal ticket that's Taylor Swift. I don't give 2 shits. Sorry, I'm just.
No tits. He gives no tits. No tits given.
Mm-hmm.
Have you heard the thing, though, that the script has been leaked for the Super Bowl?
Yeah, I mean, the script's been leaked all year. The way it's looking, the NFL wants their first 3-peat team and all this other stuff. And
so, Curtis, for you, what the script is, that in overtime, the Chiefs are going to win by 3, and then Travis Kelce's going to propose to what's-her-tits, and they're going to get engaged.
Oh, that's disgusting. Okay.
Oh my God! Somebody made a comment the other day that was like, "Can we just?"
Yes, he did.
They said, "Can we just sim through this whole thing to where they break up and their contract's over? Can we just sim through this?"
That just reminds me of how gross I felt.
You did, Meg. You did, Meg. I'm just saying. Sorry. I'm over. I'm over it like I was the Patriots. See, and the funny thing about that is check this out. Kansas City got that same dose against them in 2019 with Tom Brady. Like, they literally showed Chris Jones barely touch Tom's shoulder, and they threw a roughing the passer call in overtime, and Brady and them took it down the field to go win for it with a touchdown, and Kansas City didn't even get to touch the field in OT. And what did they do? They came out to one of the worst freaking Super Bowls ever. It was them and the Rams. And the Rams didn't even deserve to be there. They screwed Drew Brees in New Orleans that year for that no pass interference call. See, this is another thing about it is, too, when it comes to NFL and sports and everything. They do not hold any of the referees or officials accountable. Give them a press conference. Give the media a chance to look at the referees and go, what happened to the no call? Why did y'all decide not to make a no call? Because here's the funny thing. They protect the referees in the NFL. If any coach or player or any crew member of the team criticizes the officials, they fine the team.
So the coaches, I mean the referees are insulated from their decisions just like mechanics are at the bowling alley.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, I love that. What happened? What are we talking about?
Yes. They couldn't have said it any better, Curtis.
I need to know.
Oh no, it's just that that it's all a group thingy. But when one side messes up, they're pretty much not. They can't be touched. Nothing goes on. They don't hear anything, but the other side has to deal with it.
Not accountable. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, bring them up and let them get cussed out. That's what I've always said. And I'm on the party with Curtis too. I'm tired of getting cussed out as well. And I'll be damned if I'm going to apologize. And we're already getting close to bring it to the table, and I want to hold off on that because I don't want to go off script here, Dustin. Fire back, buddy. I'm sorry. Mark, we've been here since 11 o'clock Central, my friend.
Could you imagine skits where we did press conferences for referees? I'm not kidding.
Dude.
That is a genius idea. You said that, Mike? I know you were joking around, but
no, dude, you could do that. I act like a mechanic or something. We could do that for bowling. That's freaking great.
Yeah, because have you ever seen it when like dads will do like dad's press conference talking about the toddler babies and stuff?
Yeah.
Oh, so last thing though, before we move on that, and something else that just made me think of, and we'll see who's heard of it and who hasn't, because I see it a lot. I thought again today actually that the NFL is not like a sports federation. It's not sports. It's entertainment technically.
They're going to protect the shield.
Very easy to just say then, well, if it's entertainment, then why should we believe that there is anything?
Entertainment?
Yes. Deep dive that. Rabbit hole that.
It's sports entertainment.
Yeah.
Which what else is? WWE?
Yeah, it's no different than WWE, really.
It's entertainment. Rabbit hole that sometime.
Here's another thing with that too, y'all. Here's the thing. Who's to say that those referees don't have their hands in DraftKings or parlays or any of that? And again, like that is just absolutely asinine that you would allow an official to partake in that stuff because they fine and suspend players when they bet on other sports. Jameis Williams from the Lions got suspended for 5 games. I don't know if it was this past season or if it was last season, but he got suspended 5 games for betting on NBA games.
Why?
Because you can't bet. It's not allowed. You can't bet sports and everything.
Even if it doesn't pertain to the sport you're in?
Yeah, even if it's not the same sport. You can't. Like, and he literally got suspended. Like the boy got 5 games suspended. And they took 5 game checks from him for it. Calvin Ridley got banned for an entire season. I'm just saying.
And we know things like this even happen because I haven't watched it in a while, but that documentary about the basketball referees got busted in the conspiracy.
And the biggest key to that is nobody sit here, look at me and tell me that in 2002 that the Sacramento Kings, they were better than the LA Lakers. But the league and the refs wanted Kobe and Shaq to have that world title. You cannot tell me that because Sacramento was on a roll that year, yo. All right, anyway, what do we got next?
You are good. I think there was something I wanted to mention, something about Mahomes in the Ray Lewis era. Yeah, Ray Lewis
survived.
It's his entrance when he comes out, just that alone is that's like a WWE entrance. I loved it when he would come out of the tunnel.
Well, I mean, again, I'm rooting for the clock, and I'm hoping, like I said, I got 5 words. Philadelphia, you're our only hope.
Oh, man. All right.
So, look, Curtis got a good education in sports this segment.
Yeah, so do you have any thoughts after being open to all of that?
Not really. Y'all scratched the surface on a couple of controversies. That for me, I'm not a sports fan, so the controversy is more interesting than the actual sport to me. The fact that the referees are running an underground Kabbalah of picking and choosing winners and secret betting, that's just crazy to me.
Have you seen the skit where they throw a flag and the refs get together and the ref goes, hey man, I got so and so on my fantasy team, so how can we make this to where they go for 2 and I get a chance at 2 points? It's the same thing, man. Like again, what is that? What's that saying? Uh, it's the sincerest form of flattery.
Imitation.
Imitation. Thank you. Yeah, imitation is the most sincerest form of flattery.
And then, of course, doing it as a joke, but it's the truth right in front of us. Yeah, joking about that type of stuff. Because I think Buffalo Wild Wings did it too on their football commercials, where the dude calls in a favor and gets the ref to extend the game so he can stay and eat wings longer. It's like not far fetched. That's like, yeah.
Taylor Swift Football League. Mark just said.
Oh gosh, it was funny until I thought about it.
When you mentioned the script that he's supposed to come and propose to her, that just reminded me of how disgusted I was. I can't remember what WrestleMania it was, where John Cena came out and proposed to Nikki Bella, and I was like, 33. I want to see this shit. What is this?
WrestleMania 33.
God, I was
2017. 2017.
Yeah, so that's we'll see. I don't know, but have you guys seen the leaked script for Royal Rumble?
I've heard about it, but
I don't remember offhand. But there's some.
I stay away from those because that's one of my few that I watch to be surprised.
That's Saturday, right? It's coming Saturday.
Yes. Oh, speaking of that,
work.
How do we feel about Triple H finally getting inducted into the Hall of Fame solo?
I'm here for it.
I didn't know about that, so I think that's cool. I'm good with it. What do you think?
I think he's probably one of the few that are left that it's deserving of. I mean, he's had a good career. I'm just pretty sure that after this Cena tour, he's probably going to go in next year, and I'm going to burn the whole thing down.
You said Cena?
Yeah.
There's some dudes. I finally watched Raw, I think, last night. Who you taking at the Rumble then? Because there's a lot of dudes that have been creed for it already. I don't know if that's the right word, but they've come out and made claims.
Declared
the Royal Rumble.
It's either I would like to see
your boy CM's been making a heavy claim to winning it.
Well, we all know that's who I want to see win it, but it's probably going to be Cena. It's probably going to be Cena
because this is his last one.
Yes.
So speaking of your boy CW, though, I didn't know he's got a Cobra Commander tattoo from G.I. Joe's. Do you know that?
Who?
CM Punk.
Oh. I didn't know that.
He's got a G.I. Joe tattoo of the Cobra symbol right here on his arm.
Does that make you like him at all?
A little bit.
It keeps me from changing the channel. No, he's growing on me, but I didn't know that, and then I saw him like, shit. Well, now I got to get it. So yeah. Okay.
Look at his arm. What do you see?
All right. So the next couple that we have, we're doing pretty good. 11:37. We got 2 more things on here for sure. I forget whose exactly they are. Curtis, I believe this was you, and this one may have come after what you had stated. So forgive me, but why do you get mad if you see somebody else win or succeed?
Actually, that was in response to Mike, because Mike was talking about Michael and feeling bad about succeeding.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
so Mike, why don't you start with that?
McAnally might be on this live too.
I saw him in here.
Yeah, that'd be good because I think we both have little different. We both have different thoughts on it. So yeah, start us off, Mike.
Michael, are you still in here? Michael McAnally, are you still in here?
I'm looking. I don't see him. He might have got off. He might have got off the feed.
McAnanal.
Yeah.
No, but yeah. So what was it, Mike? You start us off on that, and then we'll move into.
Let's clear this up with Mark. So, Mark, what it is if you got a chance to see the DGAB podcast, we had Michael McAnally on there, and we were talking about his victory in the 4th DGAB Members Only Invitational. Well, I think he spoke with Dustin and myself about, he kind of felt bad for winning. And of course, I think that just kind of threw me and Dustin kind of a little mini, and I'm not going to say a mini fit or anything, but it was one of those things that really got our blood semi-boiling because at the end of the day, I'm not going to apologize for winning. I had my own little thing about that past Monday night as an example, but that's here, there, no yonder. But, I told him, like, never feel bad for winning. Like, don't let them make you feel awful for doing something that helped made you successful. That's not your problem. That's their problem.
Yeah, and we talked about a lot of things with him also, but being a good winner, which he is. But yeah, it was kind of funny. I don't mean to laugh at you, Mike, but it was kind of funny. And then Sunday night after league, you called me over, and I could tell you were pretty flushed. Go ahead.
No, man, he come up to me. We got a new team in the Sunday night league, and he comes up and he goes, "Oh, I felt bad for beating them, and it's their first night in the league." And it's like, what did I tell you? Stop feeling bad for winning. Like, just stop. Like, I don't know. What did you say to him, Dustin? You were like, if you're not, I don't know how you, I can't even remember, but you said something that was really, oh my God, I can't remember.
Philosophical. Don't play if you don't want to win.
Yes. Yeah. I thought he was trying to be humble, but went way too far. Yeah. There is such a thing as being way too humble and way too modest about stuff. Like, and again, like, that is one of the things that before we did the 1 year anniversary of the podcast, Dustin, that I was doing the pre-show and I had Victor in the live, and he was talking about he was going to therapy. He was actually going to see a therapist. And the thing that really stood out to me is that he made the comment about, being modest, and, if somebody paid him a compliment, he kind of deflected it. And the therapist looked at him and was like, that might be considered borderline narcissistic, because it's like you're not knowing how to take it is one thing, but then you're trying to get more out of that compliment instead of just like accepting it for what it is. And that light bulb went off in my head, because I was like, wow, I've done that. So it's like, now it's like if somebody sits there and goes, "Hey, Michael, that was a great game. You know what? Absolutely. Thank you so much. I appreciate you for that."
I remember the next day after that, we were at work, and I was walking by, and he said, "Curtis, you're doing a great job." And I was like, "Nah." And I stopped and said, "You know what, Michael? Thank you. Thank you for that."
That's a great, yeah, we could talk a lot on that alone. Sometimes it's just take the damn compliment.
Yeah.
I've said that to so many people, just take the damn compliment.
Yeah. Because my thing is, it's like with me, like if I pay you a compliment and you deflect it or you say something like, I don't want to ever give you another one.
That's true.
I don't want to, because you're just going to look at me again and go, nah.
But no, I totally agree with all of that and get it. But just looking at it from a different perspective, then, we're looking at it from our view, but from theirs, they're not going to be that way overnight. They're not going to go where they're perfectly handling it how they should. I would rather have somebody like that to be like, "Hey, it's okay to win. You don't have to apologize," instead of just arrogant prick and being like, "Dude, you need to chill out." These are not terrible problems. There's definitely worse things we'd be dealing with than this. So, keep in mind that people aren't going to change their ways overnight with it. All we can do is reinforce as much as we feel necessary. Because you remember what my reply to that was to you that night. I told him the same thing. I was like, "Yeah, dude, we've been over this a lot. That we've all said the same thing." But then to you, it's like, "Hey, man," and in front of him, because I wanted him to hear it. And I used him as a reference to the wall. I was like, if that's a wall and we're telling it like this and nothing changes, we're only going to do that for so long, like you just said. Like, if they deflect the compliment, I'm not going to bang my head on that wall anymore. So I did that on purpose so he could maybe understand that. And it's like, okay, well, if they to not jump around too much, but it directly is related to what we're talking about. I remember when I first started at Cumulus, and one of the guys had been there forever, Dan, with all the big contracts and this and that. He talked to me for quite a while after work. We checked out, and he was telling me something about one of the calls or somebody else dealing with. And then when he left, my manager, Liz, told me, she's like, "Hey, for Dan to spend that much time talking to you, that means something. So basically don't piss away what he was saying. Because if he didn't want to stop and tell you what he told you, he doesn't do that for everybody," type of thing. So did that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I feel like I potentially jumped around all over the place, but at the same time, it kind of connected.
You stuck the landing, though. You stuck the landing.
You stuck the landing, buddy. And you're doing a great job, Dustin.
It's the ankles. Thank you very much, Michael.
That was sincere as hell. Hey, we get like the little 2 thumbs up.
I did that earlier again for Ruth. I got to show off the thumbs up and stuff. I don't know if to do it on here. I've tried before, right? Or on TikTok.
We couldn't do it on here.
Yeah.
It's only on streaming.
I got to hit the fireworks and everything. I told her about Curtis. That's how I show my love is by the thumbs up. So, I don't know if I've missed anything in the comments. I haven't been looking at all. I apologize.
Mark just basically said people talk about beating me, and I tell them they need bigger goals in life. See, no, but I like what Mark said. He goes, "Hey, man, I appreciate that. That's all you have to say." Yeah, and that's like even Maya right here said, my husband told me the same. He said, "You bowled very hard to win. Don't ever feel bad." I completely agree.
Yeah.
Because I mean, my thing is this: it's like look at it like this, and I wanted to put the shoe on the other foot with McAnally. I want to say, do you think George would have felt bad if he'd have beat you by 1? There's no way.
Not at all.
There's no way. I'll bet every dollar in my billfold right now, which is none, by the way, but I'll still would if I had 5 in there, that he would have not have reacted the same way. He would have not went up and been like, "I feel bad for beating him." Get out of here with that.
No, you're completely correct. I think it'd be funny. And I wouldn't be surprised if George wins one before too long because he's been real close. He's got second twice.
It'd be funny if he wins the doubles one and we can be like, "Oh, well, you had a doubles partner to help hold you up there, George."
That's going to be great. He needed somebody else to help him win.
Hey, that is turnabout is fair play because when his face, when me and Michael won, he was like, "Oh, you won because you had Michael on your team." I was like, "Dude, I worked really hard for this win. Thank you very much."
Because there was a couple of nights when I couldn't bowl and Curtis was bowling by himself, holding his own.
And there were some times where he did bowl and it wasn't stellar.
Yeah. Like, look in the mirror. Like, before you go wanting to shit in someone's yard, look in your own yard first to see if you ain't shitting in your own first. I'm just saying.
That's literally why when we won, and George was like, "Why only won because of Mike?" And I was like, "No, I did my part." And then they rewarded us in Zach Go's speech. That's when I deserve this, and I looked exactly at him and said,
He did.
Speech is, I deserve this.
JJ, the DJ, welcome in to Damn Good After Dark. And we're waiting on Mr. Caps here.
On that, yeah, that just reminds me of something that we've talked about recently and before for sure is don't accept criticism from someone you wouldn't ask advice from. And that's one of those. Now it's like in my head, and I know this stuff, but that was a big one for me when I first learned it. Because if you think about that, let it sink in, because it is, again, you got coaches coming at you from everywhere. You've said it a million times, and that's just life. So to really be able to feel secure with accepting and dealing with people in a way of, if I wouldn't ask you for advice, I don't give 2 shites what you think. You don't pay my bills. You're not doing my chore. You're not doing this. You're not doing any of that. I got enough of my own problems without your crap. Once you're able to really put that shield up and let it roll off, that's very liberating in life.
I think that was one I think I got really young because I was a little bit of an asshole growing up, and I was very much, if someone wanted to criticize something, I was very much, I didn't ask you. I didn't ask for your opinion. I was very much like that.
Well,
if I wanted your input, I literally would have asked you.
yeah. But anyway, that just popped in my head. I wanted to
I said that to a league bowler a while ago. Curtis, you should do this. I didn't ask you.
See, that was that's the evolution of Curtis being an operations manager. 'Cause I remember when he first got promoted, and he was like, "Yeah, and that slowly went to, "I don't give a damn."
Because I know what I'm doing. And there's nothing more annoying than someone, this like random league ball saying, "Y'all should be doing this, and this." It's like no one asked your opinion on anything that goes on here. Everybody has a million ideas without knowing the first part about how anything actually works.
Why do you think I put up that TikTok of like what goes on in the shop? Like I did that just so people would get an idea of like, I'm not just sitting there like twiddling my thumbs. Like we're getting stuff done in there.
Not to, I know we're getting off track, but do you know how many bowlers in the bowling alley I have heard say, "Man, if I had a bunch of money, I'd open a bowling alley." And I want to go, and you'd be closed in 6 months.
Yeah.
I can't lie though. I would love to have a bowling alley in my own house. That's like in my dream house. If I had the F around money, I'm putting in 4 lanes in my basement.
Oh yeah, but I mean, you're not going to try to say that you could go and open up a whole establishment and run it better than X, Y, Z.
See, the funny thing about all that is it's like this, okay? I can't tell you how many times me being a tournament director, and I've had people go, "Hey, Mike, you should do this, this, and this." I'm like, "What's stopping you from putting
Have at it.
what's stopping you from putting a tournament together?" I said, "Go up here and talk to Wes or Curtis, put the particulars together, and give me something. I would love to bowl a tournament in this house." Oh, dude, just shut up. Like STFU, like just shut up, okay? Like I'm not listening to it. And that's the thing about it. Like me coming back with these handicap tournaments, I have made it as simplistic as possible. It's really easy. This is your average right now. This is what you're going in. Well, I don't like that. Here's your money back. I don't need your entry. And when I say I don't need your entry, I don't need your attitude because I got 50 million things going through my mind.
Yes, it is very costly to maintain. Yes, it is.
Yes, it is. I remember when I was younger, like before working in the pro shop, dude, I was wanting to build a bowling alley. Now I see the way that it is. It's like, holy crap, no, absolutely not. Like, what was the sales pitch for me? Because I used to be shift leader for AMF. And when I left my shift leader position and I went and where I'm at now with Jeff looked at me and the sales pitch was easy. He says, "Michael, you ever notice working in the front counter how many people you have come up to complain?" I was like, "Yeah, I do notice." He goes, "Well, when you work in the pro shop, people come to you for advice. Which one do you find to be better?" And that was it. That was what it is. Unfortunately, though,
I was going to say, what's the reality of that?
The reality of it is they look at you. And again, like they think I got some sort of in the know. They think I got an in the know, like a scoop behind the scenes or anything. Dude, I can look at Curtis and go, "Hey, Curtis, it's dropping the 7-pin on 14." I can tell Curtis this. I can't look at Curtis and go, "Hey, man, I think you got something broken in the back and it's this, this, and this. You might want to get your mechanic to look at it." Because even as long as I've been in bowling, don't put me in the back. I don't know what I can't. I'll watch it and everything, but I still couldn't tell you. Okay, well, something's broke. Obviously, I don't know what.
I'm loving Mark's comment right here. How to be a millionaire owning a bowling center? Start out as a
billionaire.
Yeah.
All right.
Going to suck you dry.
That's right. All right, where are we at?
Dustin.
Like you said, we can pigeonhole this.
No, you're good, and you're very correct. I mean, in the position that you're in theory, yes, you're there for their advice, but we know the reality of it, and just not just you, but people in your position. You're an easy dumping ground for people that want to be mouthy and express all of their emotions and anger and this and that without necessarily having to take it to the counter or something else. You're what they feel is a safe place to dump their shit on, which leads us into our last noted point that we have for tonight. When people may project onto you other stuff, they're projecting their own shit onto you in that position. So when you find it's not just a regular bitch, "Hey man, 7's down," because you may tell them like, "Look, dude, I don't work here." We've had those types of conversations, like go tell somebody that actually works for the bowling alley. But, and this is for you guys both because we've talked about it, when somebody's projecting onto you shit that they have going on, you know what I mean? That's the next topic. So have you ever done it to anybody, and how do you feel when people do that to you? How do you deal with it? You guys know what I mean by that?
I would say we've all projected on the people before. We're all human. It has happened. When you say project, do you mean like something else is going on and they're projecting it onto you? And because I mean, you can my 10 years of doing this, I can kind of tell when a bowler's coming up to me and they're saying they're mad about this, but it's really this.
That's what we're talking about.
And truthfully, it depends on my headspace, how I react to it. And sadly, it also depends on how much I like that person that is doing it. Because I'm all for having a conversation and finding out the root of the problem. And sometimes the root of the problem has been personal stuff, like nothing bowling related at all. It's just they're going through something, and because of this one thing wrong with the bowling alley, they're saying this ball return's taking forever, but really they're going through a divorce or something like that. Mm-hmm. And I don't know, it's really a case by case basis with that, but I've had it happen a lot.
It's also kind of like you mentioned earlier, the one that you learned, so definitely the more experience you have with it, the easier you can identify it. Yeah, luckily you're in that mode of where I know that it's not personal, it's not me, it's just their own bullshit, and then being able to tune it out.
It better not be personal.
We typically know when it is. Do you have people when they come in the shop, they want to do that? Actually, whether you're directing either or in the shop, those types of things, because it's so easy to do. Like I've done it before without even meaning to, especially with all of my bottled up shit I have is the rage and anger and stuff. So
I can't tell you how many times that that Curtis has had to listen to me and even felt as though I was griping at him specifically, and I've had to pull myself back plenty of times after he has reminded me of it. So I'll give you an example. So the All-Star League, Randall came into the shop tonight, and I drilled him a ball he brought in from the internet, and we got to talking about that. We got to talking about the league and everything. And I was telling him about, how I'm working on putting a scratch league together for Thursday fall. And I said, we're going to do it early because the research is showing me that people don't want to bowl. They don't want to bowl late at 8:30 anymore. Not here anyways. Maybe they do elsewhere, but not here. And he was like, well, I would love to have another late league. And I was like, not me, man. I said, because I'm going to tell you right now, like last year was my breaking point. And I had to explain to Jeff, I had to explain to other people that they cannot separate the difference in Michael working in the pro shop versus Michael bowling league. They cannot do it. That happened tonight. It happened tonight. I'm sitting there talking to Curtis, and somebody comes up and says, hey, man, you think you can come watch me bowl? And I'm like, dude, I'm off the clock. Like, they don't hear off the clock. Those are like the 3 words missing from their vocabulary. And it's just like I told Randall, I said, look, man, I quit the Huntsville All-Star League. I quit that league for my mental health.
You're naming names.
Yeah, no, I am. Like, seriously. Like, I told Randall, I said, I quit that league for my mental health. I said, because I could shot, like when he told me I shot 800 against his team last year, I didn't know I shot 800. I was like, cool, I shot 800, great. And I'm not saying that to be like saying I'm full of myself, but it's just like, when you get to the point where you don't care about those achievements, that's my point. And I was like, okay, great, shot 800, put my stuff up, I'm leaving. And as I'm leaving, somebody's coming up to me trying to ask me about what latest and greatest bowling ball is going to help them average 240. And it's like, I don't give a shit. And I noticed like my blood pressure would rise, of course. And it's like, I'm leaving. Like I'm walking out the door. There's been nights Curtis would look at me, Mike, how you bowl? And Curtis can tell how I bowl. If I bowl great, I am extremely talkative. If I didn't bowl worth the shit, or I felt like something was screwed up with the lanes, or something just seemed off, or somebody pissed me off and they said something off kilter, I'm out the door in like 2.2 seconds. Like I've left my stuff on the lanes. And I compounded that for 36 weeks. And it finally took my 2 teammates I bowled with to look at me and say, hey man, I don't really care for this league. And it's like, and another teammate of mine, Nathan, he was like, you guys quit, I'm done. And I said, oh, so are we all in agreement? I said, because I'll retire right now. I don't care. Like, I'm looking to protecting my peace at that point. And you can't make them sons of bitches understand that. You can't make them understand. Like, dude, when they saw me not bowling this year, the first thing they were saying, why are you not bowling? I said, because I don't give 2 shits about this league. I don't give a shit about your potential $6,000 for first place or your $9,000 for first place. I don't give a shit. I don't care.
I will say you're not wrong. It's almost like if you work at the bowling alley, and I guess this can go across the board for any kind of retail or entertainment place, but you're not a person
Mm-mm.
to the people that inhabit the place. You're a means to an end for them. You should be doing this. They don't think about that. You have like hopes, dreams, and feelings and emotions. They don't think about any of that.
Darren, I just want to, for all y'all coming in here just now recently, we call this segment Damn Good After Dark, and this is where we let loose about everything. And just so you guys don't know, Dustin and Curtis, they are some of my best friends and business associates for the Damn Good Average Bowler brand. So make sure you go give them a like and a follow here on TikTok. So, but yeah, we're rocking and rolling tonight, and I'm on. Like I said, I am unfiltered tonight. This is one of those rare nights I am unfiltered because, like I said, I don't care. Like I love the game, and if I had zero passion, y'all, about any of this, y'all wouldn't see me coming on here talking about the Derek Tate Memorial, the Parkway Memorial. You wouldn't see me doing this. That's when you really like. But again, Curtis is the one that you tell the corny jokes to, right? Yes, I am.
That's me. That's me.
Yep.
That is Curtis. But my point to that is, and I'm trying to wrap this up as quickly.
You're good, man.
I'm trying to wrap this up because, and I told Randall, I said, my mental health was suffering, and I even went as far as to use some stuff where I don't want to get us kicked off here, and I used as an example. And people look at you like they don't know how to look at you when you use those examples, and it's like y'all think I'm playing. I said, but look at the level of red. Like, look how red I am right now just talking about this. That's my point. And I finally got to the point. I remember there was one time I left, I came home, and my old mom come out the door, or come out of her bedroom, looked at me and was like, "You are red as your shirt, Michael." And I said, "Give me 30 minutes. I'm going to cut I did, y'all. I cut my lights off. I sat in the dark for 30 minutes with no sound, no nothing. And I took my blood pressure. My blood pressure was 160 over 100, y'all. It was that bad. And when I finally got my bearings and my blood pressure went down, I took a couple of days off. That was that weekend, Curtis. Remember, I was off at Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I didn't step nowhere near it. And when I came back, before I went back that Monday, I took my blood pressure. My blood pressure was normal. And I had made a little thing. I said to Curtis, I said, this place will not kill me. I refuse to let that happen. And I made the decision right then and there. I said, when this league is over with, I will not be bowling it again. And everybody in their brother and there's like, boy, you're just like you're happy to get out of here. And I look at them now, whether they're condescending or funny about them. I look at them and like, yeah, I am. Oh, well, and even Randall said it to me tonight. He was like, well, you don't really have anything to do. I said, that's the point, Randall.
No, right? What's wrong with that?
What's wrong with going home, sitting in the dark, and de-stressing? There's nothing wrong with it. And as a matter of fact, I think if more people did it, we'd have a more peaceful world. Yeah, like Mark says, leave me the hell alone.
Yeah, please. Yeah, sometimes it's like, just please, for your own good, leave me alone. But that, quite a while ago, I jotted down something that directly relates to this that you have talked about without saying the actual word, but that's setting boundaries. That's deciding boundaries that we need for mental, emotional, physical. They all have different types of boundaries. When you identify one of those that you need, like you identified the fact that you needed a boundary, and then because that can be hard to do sometimes, even if we're lucky enough to realize, hey, this is what I need to do. This is a boundary I need to set. It can be hard to do. But if you identify that, put that mofo in place, set your own boundaries. But then after you do that, you're going to have to continue to reinforce those boundaries, i.e. with you at the shop. You're never going to have to stop reinforcing those boundaries of leave me alone off the clock. Because even just since with DGAB, you just did another video about that last night. And what did you say? That's why I made the behind the scenes videos, is I want to show people that I'm constantly working. Like, I'm not sitting around. Like, I don't want to do this when I'm outside of the shop. People will never fully understand that. Like, we know, yes, we understand. People in the industry, things like that. A person can be smart. People are stupid. People are never going to understand that. So again, it's your boundary. You're going to have to, don't be afraid to continue. I'm not talking to you, but just in general, reinforce your boundaries. It's okay.
Like, if I did not love what I do, I would not be doing it. So there's still a part of me that cares about all that. But it's like you just said. I told people, I think I told Curtis a dozen times, I said, when I turn 40, it is a different ball game. Because in my 20s, I was a people pleaser. In my 30s, I wanted people to like me. 40s, I don't give a shit if you like me. Like, I know what I'm about. I know what we're about. I know what we're trying to do with this brand. I know I'm authentic. I know I'm what my heart is. And I know y'all know where my heart is at about things. And that's it. Like, I am looking out for numero uno, okay? And that's me, number one, okay? And I'm not saying I'm number one and I'm being full of myself and everything. You know, it's just that guys and gals out there, like, and that's why I try to tell people all the time. It's like, dude, go out. I can't tell you how many times at Baumhauer's that I have been the therapist for most of those servers that like me, and I took it as a compliment the other night. One of the girls looked at me and she, you know, they were talking about how one of the servers was like bad here, bad here. They had everything bad to say about everybody else, but then I was like, okay, fine. I said, since you're talking shit about everybody, I said, I'm right here. I'm in front of you. I said, talk about me. Talk shit to me in front of my face. And the girl looks at me and she goes, Michael, you're not a bad person. I can't say one bad thing about you. And I was like, thank you. And I said, I bet if you look hard enough and see what all these people are going through, you probably understand they're going through the same amount of shit you are. So maybe have a little, what's the word? Is it empathy?
This like could be both sympathy and empathy, I think.
Yeah. So be a little empathetic, little sympathetic, whatever the case may be. Just like, I'm not saying let people, like you just said, don't let people run over you. Set the boundary. If they disrespect you, boom, cut them off. I can't tell you how many times I've had one of them girls look at me and go, hey, I'm talking to this guy. And I called it, like, it was so funny. Like Mia is 19. She's about to go into the National Guard. She's about to be gone for 4 months. And Dustin, she's actually going up to a fort in Missouri, actually. I can't remember which one, but she's going up there. But she was talking to this guy, and he made the comment. He's like, well, what are you doing? And she goes, I said, well, what did you tell him? Oh, I'm sitting here working. I said, what did he tell you? Oh, I'm just sitting here laying in my bed. I said, Mia, I said, you better block him right now. I said, you're about to get an unsolicited pic. And I swear to you, dude, the next thing she gets a notification, she opens the phone, she goes, ah! And I was like, she goes, block? She goes, how the hell did you know that? I said, because I know what the young guys are about. I used to be young and freaking hormonal. I'm not an idiot. And I think I kind of earned her. I think if she didn't respect me after that, she did at that point, because I was like, look, I said, I'm not trying, like, if anything, I feel like we need to teach our sons and daughters in general how to be better people. Just better people. Like, there's a way to do it. I'm not saying it's got to be done the same way, because it's not possible. But again, teach them to be better people.
And it was said in the beginning, it came up somehow, I forget, but about fixing your own house first. But yeah, take care of yourself first, because otherwise you're no good to anybody. That's a huge thing. That, I mean, once you learn that, that's just the truth. And we see a lot of that in this world, who people's own self and house is not in order, and they're trying to fix stuff loudly outside of their house. So set boundaries. You have to take care of yourself first, or you are no good to anybody else, period. I mean,
I love how we've had a pilot and 2 episodes, and it always comes back to one theme, and that's boundaries. I mean, every conversation we have comes back to taking care of oneself and having boundaries. A healthy relationship with yourself will change your outlook on everything else.
And apparently I don't have a 100% healthy relationship with myself, because I'm still single.
maybe that's why you're doing good right now. I don't know.
Maybe so. Before we go on here, Meg, listen, dude. I am going to answer that. All your bowling related questions. Y'all know me. Anytime I'm on a live, I'm talking about bowling. But this is Damn Good After Dark right now. And with all due respect, we're here talking about a little bit of everything. So just give us some time, buddy. That's all I'm asking for, man. Just give us some time, okay? Go ahead. What's up, Kens?
So why do you think that is, Curtis? Do you think that we're just, and this isn't rhetorical, I don't mean for it to sound like an uppity rhetorical question, but So why do you think that is? Do you think it's just because that's something that we happen to always tunnel down to, or is it because it's that important? You know what I mean? And
I,
go ahead.
I think it's because it's when we started want to talk about. I mean, we talk about everything, but we want to do men's mental health and everything, and it seems like a lot of our conferences come back to that, and it seems that is just the core of self improvement is to focus on yourself first and try to put healthy parameters around yourself because you can do whatever for everybody else, but if your core is not right, if your foundation is not right, it's all going to crumble anyway. So it seems like we're talking about this X, Y, and Z, and the conversation. Yep, boundaries. You got to tell them no. You got to do this. You got to think about yourself. It's like, and it at first it sounds selfish until you get to the core of it. It's like no, like what Mike was saying. I'm taking care of me. I'm number one. It's like that can come off selfish. Like no, actually, that should be how everybody is. Take care of yourself first, and then everything else will follow.
I had to, yeah, it's not easy. I mean, even your close relationships sometimes, and just because you have to cut somebody else off at that particular time doesn't mean they're dead for the rest of the world. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter who they are, but you got to get your own stuff together. Because again, you know, you're going to be of no good to anybody else or our society or the world if you're not right. And too many of us are used to operating when we're not right.
Oh yeah, I've had that. I've been the one that people had to cut off before in life when I was not right in my core, and then as I got better, they reintegrated me into their life, and I was grateful for that. So I mean, so I've been on both sides of cutting off people and being the one that had to be cut off to work on myself. So I mean, it seems that as we talk about, we do more episodes, it really just comes back to that's a really just a core thing. Like I mean, the how are we doing, the four pillars and all that stuff. It's just it's the yeah, you got to take care of yourself first.
Which I actually apologize. I realized after we'd already started, I forgot to do the intro with the boys check-in.
We can do it now. Let's do it.
Yeah.
You started off, Dustin.
Yeah, we've talked a lot.
Doing pretty good, really. Just my sleep cycle is my biggest hindrance in life, period, really. It's been all, you guys know this well because you hear it all the time. But that's what's got me out of whack, and it's very hard to deal with unless you ever have. It's hard to imagine it. It's frustrating to try to tell people, oh, I can't sleep. Because they're well intended. Everybody wants to tell you all this stuff to do, but it's like, no, this is like a legitimate severe problem. I've tried. I've done the sleep studies. I have apnea, but I'm not blaming that or anything. But just my cycle, circadian rhythm is backwards. I don't know if you're familiar with circadian rhythm or not, but that is my biggest struggle. So some days when it's really bad, that just throws everything off. So it's almost like that entire day is wasted. And then it's just a mental struggle of not feeling like a piece of shit. So, but the good days, you know what I mean? They are good. It's been going better, working with things, keeping myself mentally busy helps, like with this stuff, a lot of stuff with Scam Haters that we got coming up with you guys. It was a great conversation with Ruth. I'm getting physically active again, which is a big thing for me, which I need, which is good. So just doing okay currently, you know, we always have complaints. Who doesn't? But I mean, if you don't have complaints, you're not alive. You know, but doing good. And I'll tell you what, guys, I'm very grateful for you two in this group and everybody listening. I don't mean to be cheesy. I hadn't planned on it, but I very much appreciate what I have with you guys. So I want to thank you both for that.
Amen.
And it's always fun. It's always expanding. We got Mike. You just sent me a new idea today. You know what I mean? I love that type of stuff. I love the fact that we're always thinking of new things and other things and constantly evolving, and people seem to like it. So I'm grateful for that, man. It's fun.
It's way after dark. It's way after dark over here.
Yeah.
Yes.
We've got 17 minutes left.
Well, dude, I think Curtis and I both agree. Like, dude, hey, man, glad you're on board, man, and glad that you know we can kind of help you in times that are tough, and you know we kind of do this little triangle. You know, call it the triangle of terror, if you will. Or the triangle of peace and happiness, whatever you want to call it. I mean, you know, again,
circle. It's a circle.
It's a circle. That's how we get down in this house, baby.
Oh, I do want to let you guys know that I am looking into some Derek Tate stuff with Anna. She's got a page called Anna Made Creations. She does like keychains and stuff. So I'm definitely looking into the stuff with with Derek's tournament. Another thing I wanted to bring to you guys too is I actually got to talk to Rebecca tonight. She finally messaged me. She's just getting over being sick. She apologized profusely. She goes, "I am so sorry." I was like, "No, like you don't owe an apology. Worry about getting well, and that's what it's all about." And I checked on her, and she told me that this time last year, Derek was having his first craniotomy. So it's kind of one of them bittersweet, memories and everything. And
Just ignore it.
yeah, and by ignoring that means he's been blocked. So, but anywho, but I asked her because you guys told me to ask her. I said, hey, the crew is wondering, how are you doing financially? Are y'all okay? We were thinking about maybe doing some 50-50s for the tournament. And she made the comment. She goes, maybe you guys want to try to start something for Oakland, just a starter thing. I said, I will pass that idea to Curtis because, I was like, I don't think that is a bad idea at all. I think that's a wonderful thing. So there's you an idea, Curtis. And I know Dustin's gears are clicking. I can see the look on his face.
I don't want to interrupt you, Curtis, if you have an idea already, a thought.
I was just thinking, how did I not think of that?
That's genius. What if, and I don't want to get too specific with it, but what if part of that or whatever goes towards opening her a 529? I'm pretty sure that's what it's called. You guys know what a 529 is?
Refresh my memory.
It's a kid's college fund.
Okay. Yep. I knew it had something to do with college or school or something.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But again, I don't know. Normally, I would probably talk to you guys offline about this. We can chat more about it. But yes, I love that idea.
Yeah,
I do too.
So I just wanted to pass that on to y'all. And she did confirm that they both will. That all three of them will be there for the Sunday tournament. And it's things are lining up. Things are lining up, and this is. She even said something that honestly, y'all, it almost made me cry. She goes, "You have no idea how proud he would be of you right now." And I was like, I needed to hear that. And I miss my friend. If I can just be vulnerable with y'all.
That's the place to do it.
And it's so, look, man, that's the thing about, I guess that's kind of what my little bring to the table. Okay. I got, and for some reason the phone knows our algorithm and stuff, but, I had a lot of videos about, being more open and, it's funny how men and women don't understand how the dynamic works. It's like if you see like us, us guys, and we're picking on each other. Well, we know we're obviously not serious about it. We're just ribbing each other. That's a sign of a social norm of how, hey, these guys are friends and they like each other. And somebody made the point and said, you wouldn't see women doing that because they'd be all into a. It was just an example. I'm not saying all of it would happen, and I'm definitely not trying to single out men versus women or anything. That's not my goal. But it just got me thinking about a lot of stuff. It's like that vulnerability, like, is it really going to be used against us if we really open up? And I come back and I formulated something in my head. I was like, you know what? I don't think there's anything wrong with opening up as long as you open up your know and trust in your gut that you're opening up to the right person.
Yes. Boy, you have no idea my feelings on what you just said there. That strikes deep to the core here. So, yeah.
And I mean, it's just like, and I've seen it, like I've experienced it and I have witnessed it so many times where I have seen a buddy of mine have something personal or his feelings or anything weaponized against him later on. And it's like, if they know that makes us shut down, why continue to do it? Of other than the fact of either they are ignorant to the fact or they're just, trying to use it against. And again, I'm not trying to demonize anybody here. It's not that. It's just like it's the stuff I've been really thinking about with that, and it's kind of like me talking about being single. I don't have a problem with being single. I've been single for so long; it's like commonplace now. Like, if anything, I am on that side of my life where I wouldn't know a genuine woman if she hit me in the face and said I'm right here. I wouldn't know it. That's how out of tune I've been with it. That's how like non-attentive, if you will, that I've been like minding it. Like, I'm not paying attention. I'm not looking at cues. I'm not like, Curtis would probably have to be the one looking at me going, "Hey, that girl's flirting with you." No, she's not. Somebody, or Dustin, you'd have to say, "Dude, that girl's into you." I'm not picking up on it. I've never been good at picking up on this. I never will be. And I'm okay with that. I'm not saying that that's a detriment to me. It's just, it is what it is. But it's really got me thinking about, like, where is my head mentally? Like, I'm sitting here 40, and it's like that half and half. And I guess if you want to call it a midlife crisis, well, fuck it, And there's my one F word of the telecast here. Just, if that's what it is, then that's what it is, and that's fine. But at the end of the day, that's a part of me learning to accept myself for who I am. And I know my heart means well. I know I have good intentions. I know I'm not perfect. But that's where my head's been lately. But I think, Curtis, you put it best to me. I am either level 1 or level 2. I'm either really up here or I'm really down here. There's no in the middle with me, and I could not agree with that more, because I know when my bad days are absolutely terrible, and my happy days are my great days. There's no in between. And that's bad, y'all, because there's no balance, and that's the only thing I don't like about that. There's not a healthy balance, if you will. So there's not middle.
I'm just kind of thinking out loud, so it's not really a direct question to problem solve right now. But what do you think could help get you, instead of being either on the top of the second floor or the bottom of the first basement? What are some things that could help keep you right there at floor level? Again, we can. That's just, I had that in my head. That's what I wanted to ask.
No, I don't have a problem answering it. It's at the end of the day, I keep holding out hope that those bad traits that I see in so many of these informative videos, I keep holding out that they're not all like that. I think that's what, if anything, would balance me out. I mean, I don't know if that's a good answer or not.
What videos are you talking about?
Dude, there's just so many videos. It's like, it's kind of like, the Fresh and Fit podcast. The one that Curtis says they're very extreme about things, and they really are. But I'm going to tell you this, though, okay? Here's another thing, too. Like, I see these videos all the time of where the guy walks out and there's 10 women, and they'll immediately look at him, and they don't even talk to him, and they go, pop, 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 pop. And I'm like, I get mixed feelings about that, because I could look at that and go, I know good and damn well that they pop me. I know they would. And somebody would be like, "Oh, Michael, you're not showing confidence." No,
I had no clue what you're talking about. Now I do. I was like, what am I? I felt totally lost. Now I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. It's just like, somebody's like, "Well, you've never had, somebody." I think I got told one time, somebody's like, "Michael, you don't have a lot of confidence in yourself." I'm like, "No, I don't. Like, I admit that." Now, the good side of bowling, that's really off levels me out, because that's something I feel like I have at least a little bit of control over. And I know we're going into, like, let's dissect the brain of DGAB here. That's cool.
But
Episode 4.
What?
We're going to put a pin in that, Michael, but I think that's definitely worth coming back, and we'll talk about that again, because shit, if we can figure out something to help me, let's talk about that. You know what I mean? We're about helping each other out.
Anyway, I'm just saying, like, that's where I've been at mentally, and it's kind of been like that, like, back and forth. Yeah, it's like, okay. Yeah, Mark, we're going to put a pin on that one, okay?
Self-aware to self-regulate. You guys have heard me say that. Probably that's another thing that I always say every podcast, but you're self-aware that in order to self-regulate, and that's, as G.I. Joes would say, half the battle right there. You know what I mean?
And knowing is half the battle.
Yeah. So Curtis, you're checking, buddy. How you doing? Everybody, 7 minutes left, and we are chucking deuces.
My check-in, I'm actually doing pretty good. I was sick for like almost all of last week, so that was a struggle. But I got off on Saturday night and I took some meds finally and slept 13, 14 hours straight, and got up the next day feeling okay. Then I slept some more, and then Monday I was like, huh, I'm back to normal. And I'm in that phase, when you're really sick, and then when you get better and you feel good because you don't feel like that anymore. That's where I'm at. So I'm actually pretty good. Played my piano a little,
Nice.
so that made me happy. I think right now at this moment I'm in a really good headspace all around. Like I'm not even hungry or cranky right now.
If you don't rest, your body will rest for you.
Yes, it will.
Oh yeah. And how's the editing going? Anything with the editing software stuff yet?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet. I got to get a time where me and Tanya can get together because we just talked about it maybe like a couple of days ago. And then I'm working nights, she works days, so we got to get a day where we can hash that out. But she did give me her capture card to use, so I'm probably gonna start game streaming on here also. That should be fun.
I have no idea what that is, but sounds cool.
It enables me to take the image of my game on my TV and put it through my computer, which will transmit it to TikTok.
And I feel like I have to say for Miss Kitta, I hope I said that right. Thank you for the 10,000 because I saw her type that and then I saw it just take off. So that was awesome. Thank you.
Jealous. I didn't want to sleep that long. It was actually I hate sleeping that long. I just didn't have a choice in the matter. I laid down and that was it.
Yes, Miss Keita, we appreciate you. I appreciate the continuous support. I think that's another thing that levels me out too is like, knowing the community on here with TikTok is just absolutely amazing. And it is, it's one of those things. It's like when I started getting into car detailing and stuff, and I really started looking like business motivating type stuff and books and everything. And it's like one of the things is you can have a total stranger be your biggest supporter, but you got 10 people in your crew that won't support anything you're doing. And I mean, I know that's not everybody in every circumstance, but it really brings some stuff into perspective when you think about it.
It is amazing the support and uplifting you can get from complete strangers who then aren't strangers anymore, but just the beginning, complete strangers over the people that are around you. It's amazing.
Y'all have no idea how excited I am to see just how many people from TikTok here that I have sent Derek Tate's flyer to. I'm so excited to see how many of those people actually make this trip to Huntsville. And it's one of those things that's been very uplifting and helping me and everything. But it's like I finalized that conversation with Randall. I was like, you just don't like Randall, you got to understand, man, you've got to look after yourself. And that's what I'm doing now. And every Wednesday night that I get to leave, like Curtis sees it. Like Curtis, you tell the people here.
Oh, that first Wednesday night, the first Wednesday night of All Stars, I've never seen Michael smiling that. It was like the Grinch when he's thinking about it all curls up the side of his head and everything. That's how hard he was smiling because he was leaving as they were getting started.
And it's just like all those little comments they were throwing at me, like, oh, I don't know why you're not doing this. And I got some people to leave me alone because it's like I don't like getting too extreme with stuff. I like being blunt, but I don't like having to be extremely blunt. But it takes that extreme bluntness for people to look back and go, whoa. And it's like they change, and if they actually change up the way they look at you, that is perfect with me. Because that means I'm doing something that's finally getting you to leave me alone. I told people all the time, like when we had this cold spell, can you guys believe it is 60 degrees outside tonight?
Yeah.
It's going to be in the 70s next week.
Dude, 2 weeks ago, we were freezing or what's off. And that's a lot for me to say because, I hit my threshold. I hit my threshold out there. Okay?
Here's the thing, though. We're going to be in the 70s next week, and that's going to end in, thunderstorms for the back end of stuff. It's 70 in January. That's going to mean tornadoes in January.
Hey, Dustin, have you ever thought about maybe we should add like our little final thought to this before we get off here? Because I know you said 7 minutes.
That's a good idea. Well, now we have two. It's 12:28, and I actually just watched a new documentary on the Springer Show last night. I forgot how he used to go out of the show. Till next time, take care of yourself and each other.
After having two transvestites, a midget, and a hooker beat the hell out of each other on screen. Make sure you take care of yourself.
Yeah.
You don't look like these people.
Yeah.
And there was more than one death involved after the show too.
Yeah.
So, but that's actually a great idea, Mike, for final thoughts. Yeah. One of them was actually in that documentary. It was a love triangle. The German dude who came over basically married the mom for his green card, gets here, banging some other broad, blah, blah. That's the triangle that goes on the show. The original mom that he flew over here to marry, she thought they were getting back together on the Springer Show. But of course, it was a set. It was real stuff, but it was a setup where he's actually staying with the other one that he just got with. So the mom, she's just like, okay, bye. She literally just gets up and leaves. And the producers are showing, they were really evil on that show. But they're like, we tried telling her, like, you don't get your ticket home if you don't go back and finish the show. She's like, I don't care. I'm done. Y'all lied. So she left, gets back home. And long story short, she ended up, that couple violently killed her. Like, shot, I don't know, shot, stabbed, but sorry to be too graphic, but they stomped on her head. Even the cops there said it was one of the most gruesome murder things they've seen.
What's this on?
Jerry Springer.
It's on the Jerry Springer Show,
What is the
yeah.
documentary on?
Yeah.
I think Netflix, but I'll check later.
That was a good documentary.
Yeah, I'll check tonight, but sorry to end on that note. But it's speaking of taking care of yourself, watch that documentary. Make you feel better about yourself. That's what I said before you were coming on, Curtis. When Mike was like, all right, here he is. I was like, all right, let's see if Curtis's face is going to make me feel better about myself. Since you just got home from work, a lot of times it's funny seeing you when you get home, just like,
Curtis has got such a perfectly symmetrical head, too.
it's quite nice.
It works.
Just don't cut your hair any shorter than that.
All right. Curtis, final thoughts from you, sir.
Yep, you get to take us out.
You just put me on the spot right now. Like, final thoughts concerning what?
Just anything.
Whatever you want, man.
Yeah.
I'll say my final thoughts are, I mean, just based on the conversations we had here, it seems that I'm glad that we do this because it seems like we all have our own individual struggles. And it is nice to be able to find a place where the three of us can talk openly and we have the system in place for other people to maybe feel like they can talk. And I like this concept that you came up with, Dustin, to kind of just a place to open up and be more of ourselves outside of the DGAB thing and get to know us a little better. Because like I said earlier, it's very easy for people to not see us as people.
Yeah.
And I like the humanizing aspect of this. So I am always excited to do this, and I love doing it with you guys.
Agreed. Well said. Michael, you look so much different right now, bud.
I know. The only thing I got to say is final thoughts is appreciate everybody. I really do. I've come a long way in a year. Didn't think I'd be this outspoken like I have been. I've been very, very, very reserved my whole life. Trying to keep my mouth closed because anytime it seems like I open my mouth, I get myself in trouble. But maybe I'm actually starting to project the right kind of thoughts and cues and everything or what have you. I'm going to leave it out with this. This is my final thought, okay? Here's the deal, okay? I want everybody that's listening right now, I want you to think about this, okay? Think about how if you are hanging around a group of people, okay? They like you, they come to you, they trust you, it's great and everything, and you listen to their problems. And I'm saying this because this has happened a lot lately at that restaurant I frequent a lot, Baumhauer's, okay? It's like I said earlier. They come to me, they trust me, they like my advice, they appreciate it, it helps them, and that's fine. I don't have a problem with that. But here's the thing I want to ask you guys, and you just rhetorically think about this, okay? How many of them check in on you? How many of them consider you the strong friend, but how many of them actually check in on your strong friend? Because I can tell you, the strongest, the ones you think are the strongest, are probably really struggling right now, and they would really just like to have somebody to talk to and not necessarily be given advice, I feel better when I tell people I just need you to listen for 10 minutes. Just listen to me, let me go on 90 to nothing about my shit, and I'll be fine. So I just want everybody, I want to leave my final thought with this is those people that you listen to and you give advice and you help, are they as willing to do the same thing in return? Because I know one or two that would not right now. And the example is this is I got message last night. I immediately replied. I said what I said. I didn't get a reply for 12 hours. And guess what I proceeded to do after that? When I got a reply in 12 hours, I put them on the spot. And I was like, it's really funny how when you need to talk to somebody, I'm right here and there. And I give you everything I got. But when I need something and I want to talk, you're nowhere to be found. So at the end of the day, think about that, folks. Like, be careful who you include in your crew. And the smaller your crew is, the better it is. And I'm going to leave it at that.
Yeah, you're leaving a whole big old case of worms for more shows, which is actually good. I'm definitely making some notes from that because you basically just gave us half of the next show. I think.
Hey, I would just like to say this in the words of the great George Carlin. I have a lot of great ideas, guys. The problem is most of them suck.
I got to write some shit down before I forget. But let's sign off. Curtis, we're only 5 minutes late. It's 12:35.
We're good.
Yeah, we got to get off here for Curtis.
Yeah, but you got real shit you got to do, man. And I don't do well with that type of stuff. So you're doing good things, and good on you for doing the show with us because of what you got to do in the morning. So
when's the next day for the next After Dark? 2 weeks?
yes. Does anybody know what date that will be?
I cannot check my phone because
Probably the week of, I'm going to guess like the 13th or 12th.
Are you going to be in town?
I don't know, but I was going to say I did that math off of the next DGAB podcast. For those of you that are still listening, we're doing the next DGAB podcast on February 15th. Yes, it's the day after Valentine's Day. That's going to be a lot of fun. I could talk forever on that, but yeah, the 12th, and then the next episode of DGAB podcast coming up as well. 13th, thank you.
Yes, Mark, 13th is correct. So that'll be our next Damn Good After Dark.
Sweet. I like it.
Well, guys and gals out there, appreciate you joining us for Damn Good After Dark episode 2.
Yes.
For myself, the Damn Good Average Bowler, Michael Price. That's Dustin Caps. That's Curtis Rideout. I appreciate you guys for joining. Appreciate everybody out there joining. If you've not done so already, please give a follow. Like until we sign off here. And if there's a way that TikTok gets their stuff back, consider resubscribing here because I'm at 29 right now. I miss you guys.
We need to talk about that in our next meeting too. Let's go back over that. I'm writing that down now, but that's a good point.
All right. But like I said, follow. Another thing I'll say this too, y'all, is I am so close to 3,000. So thank you to everybody that's followed Damn Good Average Bowler here on TikTok. Also, check out Facebook, like and follow on there. Follow on Instagram. Also, YouTube channel. We are at 530 subscribers. Thank you guys so very much for that. Keep that number pumping. As Matt McConaughey says, we got to pump them numbers up, man. All right. You guys have a wonderful evening. I love you all. And until next time, as our good friend Stephanie always says, we will catch you all on the flippity flip.
Dang right.
Y'all take care.
All right. See you everyone.